Today I'm going to demonstrate a fun fold with an interactive pop-up card in the center, and I'm going to show you just how easy this card is to make so you can make some at home too. So I'm going to show you one of the samples. The fronts of the card, I made them super simple. You can make them as fancy-pantsy as you want, but when you open them, the middle pops open. So I'm going to show you a really great assortment of cards today. Many of the stamp sets I'm using are retiring from Stampin' Up! So if there's any that you see that you love, make sure you get them by May 5th, 2025. And you're going to be able to use this design, you guys, for so many special occasions, Christmas, special birthdays. But it looks complicated, it's not, and you're going to love it. So without further ado, let's start stamping. Let me show you what I've got going on. I have stamped a bunch of images and I'll show you the stamp sets. Now, I think most all of these are retiring. So In the Moment, A Good Man, I didn't end up using Beside Me, Umbrella Days, Coffee with Friends, and Lifelong Friends. So all these sets are fabulous for this technique, as are many other stamps that might be cutesy, but I wanted to use sets that featured people. So I have been coloring them with a combination of my watercolor pencils and my Stampin' Blend markers. So yeah, I stamped them all with black StazOn and went over with my watercolor pencils. And if you want to see my course on using watercolor pencils, I will have the link down below. You can download that course. It's got over 4 hours of videos and a beautiful workbook to go along with it rather. So that's in the description down below. Lots of great reviews. Thank you to everyone who's purchased it. And I am now going to fussy cut these. This one I didn't end up coloring because I didn't get it stamped nice and dark. So I'll just stamp on the reverse side of that. But everything else is colored and dried, and I am so pleased with how they turned out. So fussy cutting time. I'm going to put on some music, make a tea, and go for it. So here's all my cutouts. Now this one, there's actually a die, but I decided just to fussy cut it because it's easy. And some of them, like these ones, I cut in between, and others, there's another one, let's see, this one here, I just did Pool Party with my blending pen in the center. So completely up to you what you want to do. Same thing here, I cut this out in the middle, and on this one I just put the Pool Party. These cute, oh my gosh, I love these. Then we've got these images and this one, and this one I did, and I've already folded it, and this is the part we're going to do next. I'm going to show you how you can make it so that it does the pop-up mechanism, because this might seem complicated, but it's not. So once you've got this sorted, you're ready to rock and roll with the rest of the card. Okay, let me pull in my scoring tool. I'm going to do my score line right about here. Okay, fold it in half again. Not perfect, doesn't have to be perfect, but get a good crease line. And now I'm going to fold this in half as if the bottom line is going to come out at the 3 o'clock position. Okay, like a 90-degree angle. And just push her down. Give it a good crease. Now when you open it, if you look on the back, it's easier to see you've got your V, right? Your V score lines. You're going to kind of push this middle crease down, or what I like to do is try to fold up. See on that V? All I'm doing is pushing up on these two score lines and kind of pushing this in so that these sides come together. Give it a good score. And then your mechanism is that. That's how it's going to pop up on your card. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with the other ones. Let's do these ones here. I'm just eyeballing the score line to come down here, so I'm just gonna whoop. Let's use a big tip here. There we go. I'm just going to make my middle lines for all of them. This one again, I cut the inside, right? So I'm just going to go between the arms. And let's see, follow down. I think it's this one here. This one. This one, which would be perfect for Father's Day coming up. And of course, these would be good for Mother's Day and stuff too, right? All right, so all my folds there. Let's fold them in half. And then fold it so that this side on the right comes out at the 3 o'clock position, more or less. And this you kind of want straight down, right? So I'm going to do it like that. Okay? 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. Give it a good crease. Open it. Push down the center and bring up your V folds. Bring them together. There, do that a little bit, that's okay. Okay. So cool. I can't wait to put these on my cards. Okay, I have been going through my Designer Series paper stash, and I'm going to show you what I pulled out here. So this is retired Designer Series paper, but I know we all have lots of Designer Series papers, right? But I thought, oh my gosh, how perfect is that to make it look like the girls are walking through the meadows picking their flowers. And I didn't know I was using this Designer Series paper when I colored them, but look at how perfect is that. Oh my gosh, love, love, love. And this one I thought, oh my goodness, that looks pretty. It looks like they're looking at the sunset, being grateful for their friendship. And then I pulled out my a new pack of Meandering Meadows, also retired. But I think this would be perfect as well. So let's see. I think just looking at the colors right away, I thought this one might be perfect. Look at that. Oh my gosh, might do that one. Let's see, what else do we have in here? DSP packs I've chosen mostly were from the Meandering Meadows and I forget what this package is called. Both retired, but they're going to do what I want them to do for today. So I need to order some more Designer Series paper today, and I'm definitely going to stock up on the beautiful sky paper that was part of the Arches bundle, and make sure I get some of that in my paws real soon. So let's go ahead and start getting the frames set up for these cards. It's simple. I'm just going to use basic black today, and they're all going to be 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. So I'm just taking my cardstock 8.5 by 11, scoring it at 4 1/4, flipping around and cutting at 5.5, so that I have 2 card bases per sheet. So I'm going to do that. I think I have, I'm not sure how many I have, maybe 10 cards. So I'm going to do 10 card bases. Next, I'm going to take my arch dies and a pencil, figure out the size that I want to use. That might be, I think that's going to be too big. Whoops. Oh, maybe good. I want this to be able to glue behind it. Okay. So I'm going to position this so that I can get everything inside that I want on my card, and then I will trim up my base DSP here. I want to make sure I've got some of that grass in the background. Okay, so I'm just gonna slide her out, and I'm just going to lightly trace on the inside so that I know where she's going to go, and then I'm going to do that for all of them. This one I'm going to pull in my Everyday Details dies and grab my circle. Oops. Let's do a circle for this one. That looks good. Okay. Okay, now that I know which die I'm using for each piece, I'm going to set those aside, and I'm going to cut out a piece of crumb cake cardstock for the window sections of the card. And I'm just cutting at 4 1/4, so it's going to be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. Okay. Down. 4 1/4. Now that I know which die I want to use for each card, I'm just going to cut it out using my crumb cake. Let's put this on my die cutting machine. There we go. And this one was the, let's see, the bigger arch. Yep. So I'm just going to position this on my crumb cake and run it through. So I'll save this for another card. But see, now I have my window. Let's move this out of the way so you can see what I'm going to do here. But now I have my window, so I'll know that it's going to line up right here, right? This way I know where it's going to go. And then I'll trim up my paper so that it fits inside the card as I need it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my windows out, all of my crumb cake cardstock. Let me show you what I've got going on, guys. So I have my frame cut out for this one. So I knew from that pencil line which die to use for each one, okay? So those are all cut out, okay? And now what I'm going to do, just see, they're all cut out. For the most part, the frames from the arches are all the same size. There was one I did bigger. This one I did bigger because it has the circle and I really wanted that sunset. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for these to come together. But I want to show you the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take each frame and run it through an embossing folder, maybe stamp it first, but I'm going to decorate it. And I just want to say, like, for instance, this frame with the guy in the beach chair would have been great with done in blues, like if you're keeping like a beachy theme depending on your DSP or if you have a stamped background. But because I'm making so many cards so I can show you samples in today's video, friends, I'm keeping it simple, crumb cake, neutral. But just know, like, you can really coordinate these cards, and oh my gosh, this guy is the limit. Okay, let me go ahead and get my frames all jazzed up. And I just grabbed a whole bunch of stamp sets. I know I'm going to be using my elements of text. I know I'm going to be using the everyday arches. Yeah, I'm going to be just, see, this has a great background stamp for those girls. So I'm just going to stamp with, I am going to stamp with what? Early espresso, crumb cake, and pecan pie. Okay, so I'm just gonna fast forward, or put this in kind of fast motion so you can see what I'm doing, because it'll be pretty much straightforward. Have stamped and dry embossed all my frames, and I used various stamps, various embossing folders, and I'm just going to go through and just kind of add some crumb cake or pecan pie just to kind of make the embossing pop off the page a little bit. Now that I've gone on with my crumb cake, I'm going around the edges with early espresso. Now a little pecan pie just to warm things up. Just gonna go around the edges with my black ink pad. Have my pieces stamped, embossed, and sponged. I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm going to trim it at 5.5 because this is 6 by 6, and I'm going to take an inch off each side because I'm going to need an inch to put inside the card. And I'm just going to set this aside with this piece, and I'm going to do that for all of them. So I now have my frame, I have our little movable piece, I have my two 1-inch pieces, and I'm just going to go ahead and erase my my circle, because that was just, the frame lines were to give me an idea of what die cut I was using and whereabouts I was going to be putting my image. Okay, I'm now going to fold this right in half. And this is ready to go inside my card. And I'm going to fold this piece in half. So I'm gonna glue this first. So I'm just gonna line this up right in the crease and fold it down. And this is going to end up going right here, like so. I'm going to take my 2 end pieces, and you can, I'm going to score them, but you can just fold them right in half, but I find it's a lot easier to score them. So I'm just going to score it along the 1/2 inch mark. And I'm going to glue this edge right onto this edge right here, okay? And I'm bearing in mind the pattern. Whoops, I say that. Okay, so I'm gonna glue it so that it follows the pattern like so. I'm just going to line that up with the crease line. Do the same thing here. Okay. So when this goes on the card, look at that, it's going to continue on, right? It's going to continue on with the pattern. So I'm going to end up gluing it so it's like this. And because I'm using dark cardstock, like black, I'm going to put on a couple strips of Fairy Vanilla cardstock that measure 5.5 by 2 so that I can write my message on the inside of the card. And I cut it so that I have a little bit of that black edge. Oops, let's get this off. Eek. And let's try that again. There we go. I wanted this black edge on each side of the card. Okay, so I'm going to do that for all of my card bases. All right, let me show you how to put these together. So the first thing I'm going to do is position my frame. So I'm lining the crease up with the crease in the card, top to bottom. And then I'm just going to tuck this down so that I can get it round about where I want it. And I can also see the middle crease mark on this image. So everything's lined up. So I'm going to move this, take my pencil, and just put a mark. I'm going to fold it closed, and I'm going to glue this flap and this flap, okay? So let's do that. Oh, and you want to make sure after those panels have dried that you have folded your card, creased it like I just did, and then I'm going to line this crease up down by the pencil mark, okay? Close my card. And then watch. La, 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 la. Okay. Let's get that crease really in there good. And you can see I have a little bit of very vanilla here, so I'm just gonna do a little trim up. Okay, so when you open it, it's going to pop up. So you want to make sure that dries. Again, really make sure that's in the crease. Okay, and now for this piece, again, you're going to line up your creases along the top and bottom, close it to make sure. Okay, then open it again, and then you're going to fold this piece over and glue that down. Same thing on this side. I'm going to flip it around. Glue it down. Okay. So, let me zoom out. When you open it, ta-da! Isn't that cool? So you want to make sure that dries. I'm going to move on to the next one. I should pull out a Christmas set because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, imagine using our Christmas paper, Christmas folders, and like Santa or Christmas tree, or, I mean, possibilities are endless, right? I think I already said that in this filming, but really they are. You could use such different stamps, whoops, and get a real vintagey look. I'll put the link down below from the channel where I got this inspiration like many, many months ago. And I just have been biting at the bit to try it. And look at, oh my gosh. I love it. I have this card here, and I have a mistake I'm gonna fix. I stamped the birds from beside me, and I got a line. So I thought, well, I'll draw a marker and try and make it look like birds, and I made it look worse. So I'm pulling in a stamp set that's available May 6th, Scenic Adventures, and I'm gonna take the sentiment, just breathe and take it slow, and I'm gonna use the words just take it slow, which I thought is perfect for this card. So I'm just going to ink it up, and I'm going to stamp it onto black cardstock with my Versamark, and I'm going to emboss it with white. That. that's how I fixed my mistake. Now what I'm doing to this one is I don't like how this just ends here, so I'm just adding some trees that I already had in my stash, already watercolored and die cut, so I'm just using them. And these are from the Grassy Grove. So now I'm going to take this and stamp and die cut that. So here are the finished cards. So let's start with this one. I kept the front of all the cards just simple with the DSP and a sentiment. And then here's the inside. Isn't that cool? When my husband got home today, I showed him these and he's like, oh my gosh. I said, I know, they're so cool. Okay, so there's one, and it's Friday night and I want to get this video up for you guys, so I'm probably not going to take a whole lot of photos of the cards like I normally do. But there's one. These were so much fun to make. Okay, here's another one. I couldn't have picked a better friend. And this one said, here's to lifelong friends. this stamp set's retiring. Don't forget, a lot of the stuff I use today is retiring. So grab them before May 6th while supplies last. Okay, there's that one. Then we have this one. Sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax. Shazam. Right? Oh my gosh. Okay, what else have we got here? Your friendship is the best gift. Right? Oh my goodness. Love, love, love these. Okay, what's next? You're the best part of my day. Let's have coffee. Like how fun, and they're looking over the beautiful scenery. And again, the designer series paper is retired, but you can use what you have in your stash, or Stampin' Up! Has lots of awesome options that you can use, or you can even stamp your background. Okay. Then we have this one again, your friendship is the best gift, and on the inside, and again the designer series paper is a little bit different on the inside. And then we have you're the umbrella to my rainy days. Like how fun is this? It's so 3D and so cool. This one I took the sentiment from the Arches stamp set and I just cut it out to put it on. I just kept it real simple. And then on the inside, this is where you saw me correct my mistake with the birds. And I also added the sailboat. Breathe. It says you are simply fantastic. Love it. Love it. You would never expect. Whoops, what we got going on here? Oh, breathe. You would never expect from looking at the front of this card that you were just going to get a Shazam like that. Like, so unexpected, so cool. What else we got? I think this is the last one. So you also saw me working on this one because I was jazzing it up with additional die cuts. So happy to have you in my life. And then look, I've created a whole little 3D forest using the Grassy Grove die cuts and stamps to create this, and it ended up being my favorite. Oh my goodness, I love these. I just can't get over how fun these are. So have a good time making these, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you so much. Take care and happy stamping.